Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mushokwe. I don't know if everyone on the call currently was on the call last week, but I'll do a quick reintroduction of myself. So I've been doing this for over 8 years. When I say this, I mean marketing, brand, and communications. I have more of a specialization in digital marketing, which is why we are having this course. One thing about me is that I would always use storytelling and digital strategy to help brands to connect with their audience and get real results. So going straight into it, right? Doing a recap of what we had last week. So last week, for if you did not have attend the class last week, we explored the full scope of what digital marketing is. We looked at all the various channels and how each channel can be relevant to small businesses, entrepreneurs, etc. Yeah, so in summary, right, we essentially said that digital marketing is a large umbrella of promoting your business, product, service on a digital channel. Digital channels could be social media, emails, and what have you, right? So essentially, think about digital marketing as marketing, but from a digital perspective alone. That's what it is. There's a misconception that some people have with digital marketing is that they assume that digital marketing and social media marketing are the same thing. We clarified that last week. It's not exactly the same thing. Social media marketing is like a subset of digital marketing. Social media marketing only focuses on social media alone. So it's promoting your businesses and services on a social media platform. So think Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, etc. But digital marketing is everything combined. Yeah. So last week, we also had an assignment, and that's where I want to start from this week. So the assignment last week was for us to pick, sorry, 1 second. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, I can. It says last week's assignments.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so last week's assignment, the objective of last week's assignment was for us to pick, when I say us, I mean you guys, for you guys to pick a business of your choice and in about a page, explain how you would apply the lessons that we learned from last week to drive growth on a small business. So the point was for us to be specific with the strategies, tools, and techniques we would use while keeping our costs low. So I think about 8 people shared assignments on the Google Drive, and I've looked at everything, and I think everyone, and I would like everyone to give themselves a round of applause. If you submitted an assignment, I was genuinely impressed. However, I picked about 3 people that I liked the way they structured their answers and what they said, and I'm going to be using that to just kind of explain and do an overview quickly of what we did last week. So, all right. So the first first assignment I would like to look at is from Peluk's Chinchin by Pelumi Oyebanji. And one of the reasons why I really liked this assignment is compared to everyone else, I think you were the one that had the highest budget. And I think that's kind of admirable because it's still a small budget. But I think that almost every other person, you guys went really, really low with the budgets. I saw budgets of 20,000 naira, 50,000 naira. There's nothing wrong in that. I also think that 100,000 naira budget is also small. I also kind of liked how you structured your strategy and action. So you started out with social media marketing, which is one of the things we discussed last week about how social media marketing is a way for you to build your own owned channels. And your strategy is to build a strong presence on Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp. You want to use Canva, CapCuts, and the likes. And I like how you did it, like strategy, tools, and then your action. So your action for social media marketing is you want to post 3 times weekly and have customer reviews behind the scenes. I think all of that is great. If I'm to give any feedback, right, I would say overall, I think that your assignments could have been structured better. So one thing you could have easily done, and this is just like minor feedback, you could have just made like this, put this in bold so that it's a lot clearer, because it's kind of confusing in terms of like how you're transitioning. You could have also sent this as a PDF document, but I think that this is actually great and how you want to really, really push this. Another thing I would say is that you identified WhatsApp business and SMS marketing. While that is great, your strategy focuses mostly on what you've written down, focuses mostly on WhatsApp business. I don't really think that SMS marketing might be relevant to what you're trying to do right now. And I guess that's probably why you didn't identify, like explain that. However, in terms of costing, you can just move this costing to something else entirely, right? You have 50,000 naira for paid ads. So the 5,000 naira here that in reality is not going to be used, you can actually just add that here. So that's just like minor feedback. The second person I looked at the assignment and I thought, okay, this is actually great. It's from Funshaw Husseini by Sage Grooming. Or rather, his business is called Sage Grooming. Sorry, please confirm if you can actually see my screen, because I'm going from assignment to assignment. So I'm currently on my window. So Godwin, please, is that what you're saying? I didn't see what I'm saying currently.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm, trying to explain. So I don't know. Maybe you try to put it on presentation.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
No, I was asking you to confirm if it's on. Okay, they say they can see it now, so it's fine. It's better.
Okay, okay, all right, cool. So this was an assignment. This was the assignment submitted by Funshaw Oseni, Sage Grooming. I like how this is structured. Like, remember what I said with the previous assignments. It's very, very neat and easy to look at. So you underlined your key points and you kind of broke this down. One thing I really like is how you broke down your target audience. It's also something not a lot of people did, right? You decided that your audience is Nigerian males between the age of 25 to 50, digitally active, interested in affordable grooming and self-care. That's great. I think that it would be better if you narrow down this audience to where your business is located. So I'll give you an example. If this business is located in Lagos, Ibadan, and Abeokuta, for example, when you are targeting, it's better to actually call it out as Nigerian men in Lagos, Ibadan, and Abeokuta, because if you're going to use this as a way to set up your ad, what Facebook, for example, would do is that they would serve your ads to wherever and whenever in Lagos. So you'll be seeing, your ads will be seen in places like Zamfara, and they might not be able to patronize your business. It means that you're probably not going to get in any form of conversion from them, meaning that you've wasted money. But the reason why Facebook will be doing that is because it's probably cheaper to serve ads. Sorry, excuse me. It's probably cheaper to serve ads to people in some other locations. So in defining your audience, it's very, very, very important to be very specific in terms of who you're trying to reach. So you don't necessarily need to go so deep into interest. Your interest can be as broad as possible. But when it comes to who, it should be as relevant to your business as possible, especially considering that this is for self-grooming. However, if you are selling products that can be delivered nationwide, then that's fine. But as a tip, it's better to focus your marketing efforts on where you see the most results. Again, I like how this is broken down. I would say that also content creation and storytelling, for a starting business, this is probably something that would not cost you a lot of money. You would most probably be doing this on your own. So instead of allocating your very limited funds to that, you might as well just move that fund to paid media. And actually, it's for almost every other thing you did, your WhatsApp and email marketing. MailChimp I haven't used MailChimp in a while. I don't think 5,000 naira, you'll be able to use MailChimp with 5,000 naira. Like, I may be wrong, but this amount is a bit too small for email platforms. However, if you're just using your personal email or your business email to send out emails, then that's fine. You can just move this amount to where your paid media efforts are. Same with data and optimization. Everything you've listed here isn't going to cost you money. Tracking ad performance using Meta, this is free. Like, you would get this analytics from your ad manager. Monitoring engagements weekly, this is free as well. You don't need to allocate costs to this. So you can move all of your costs to your paid media, and then you will have more effective, you will get a lot of more effective, what's it called, results. So that's my major feedback on that. I think that what you did was really great. I like how it's structured, and I like how very clear it is. It shows that you were listening in the class, and you also did a little bit more research on the class that we had. And the last one is by Olubukola David. I really like this because this is one of the few assignments submitted that stuck to one page, right? And I would say that I really liked how you broke down your target audience. It was really clear, it's really clean. It's obvious where you want to go, where's your primary focus, and also the audience and the interests. It's very clear that you want to reach Gen Zers, male and female, and it's really, really good. I like how this is very structured. One thing you didn't do is allocating like budgets, but I think that's less necessary considering what you're trying to do. So you're going from search engine optimization. And this is actually the most interesting thing I saw, because we discussed this briefly, but I know that I didn't really go deep into how you can do SEO by using your Instagram bio. So this is something that if, for example, people are searching for affordable streetwear in Nigeria, and you've already done every other form of SEO, your Instagram page will probably pop up, right? And this is something that businesses do deliberately to ensure that they are relevant to searches. So I really like that you included this. This is something that you can do. And again, you called out the fact that the business might not have a website yet, and that's actually really good. So those were the three I saw that I really liked. And I guess that there might just be a prize for the top three. So again, just to do a quick recap of what we said last week, it was all about digital marketing, how you can use specific strategies to grow your business from a point of view that doesn't really cost you an arm and a leg. And with the assignments, these are the top three people that really did so well. Okay, so now we're going into our focus for today. And today we are going to focus mostly on Google. The objective for today's course is to learn how to use Google tools to improve local visibility, the kind of ads you should run using Google Ads, and how to generally just enhance your online presence. This particular lesson is for business owners, marketers, anyone that is looking to optimize your online footprints using Google. So simply put, right, I would say that Google is one of the easiest things to do when it comes to digital marketing. It's straightforward, it's user-friendly, and it's very, very easy. As long as you're following the step-by-step process, you will pretty much be able to do it by yourself. Yeah, so the focus of this is going to be on visibility and how people can locate you by simply using a Google search engine, on how you can also use Google tools to drive visibility for your business. Okay. So visibility on Google My Business. Before we go into that, we have a poll. Mr. Godwin, could you please help us with the first? Okay. So it says, what do you think matters the most when a potential customer finds your business on Google? Again, there are no right answers. I just kind of want to see where our mind is at in relation to what we're trying to learn today. Okay. So about 12% of you guys said great photos. So 2 people believe that having good pictures is one of the most important things, or what matters the most when a potential customer finds. And yeah, that's actually not wrong. One thing I've noticed with user behavior is that we tend to Google things that we want to do. If you're trying to patronize a business, you're most probably going to check Google first. Businesses that thrive tend to have like pictures. So you imagine if you're trying to visit a restaurant and you don't know what it looks like, but you just put it on Google and then you're able to see it. Because they've added pictures, it's a great way for you to tell whether it's something you want to do or not. Another is an up-to-date contact, and this is, to me, this is one of the key things I look out for when I'm trying to patronize a business. I want to know if you're available. There's a time when I was trying to go to the laundromat and I checked them on Google and realized that they might not be open on a public holiday. And it was very clear that public holidays, they might or might not be open. They also had a phone number that I was able to call. So that's something that you could like, that is very important. Having contact info, having your open and close hours, it makes the decision making very easy from a consumer point of view, because I didn't have to go all the way to the laundromat because they were not open on that day. If I had gone, I would have wasted my time, I'd have wasted money, I would have wasted efforts. Another important thing is positive reviews, and about 6 people agree. If you Google a business and all you are seeing are negative reviews, I promise you would not patronize them. And it's just regular human behavior. That's the reason why reviews are very important. If those reviews are negative, no one is going to patronize. So getting positive reviews when people can search your business easily is very, very key. I like how a larger chunk of us picked the second and third. Again, there's no wrong answer. However, it's good to see that we have different perspectives of what is important, and it really depends on what you're trying to achieve as a business and what your customer needs. So in terms of visibility, having all of these things is extremely important. Some might be more important depending on your customer's needs, but covering all your bases is key. So before we go ahead, like we did last week, just to ensure that there is a lot of engagement, right? We'll have discussion points, and for every interesting comment or any feedback that I think that might be good will be rewarded, but this time we'll be doing airtime. So look out for the discussion points. I think there are about 3 or 4 across the whole length of the class. So we can, again, just look out for it. We'll be asking a couple of questions. Let's try and interact as possible. And let's try and keep this as interesting as possible. Okay, so going straight into it, right? What is Google My Business? Google My Business is a free tool that allows businesses manage their online presence across Google Search and Maps. So summarily, what this means is when you search a business and you're able to see it, like if you guys can see the image on my right, on the right rather, it shows the business that I currently work for. It's a financial service. And when you Google NigerPay, this panel pops up on the side. So you're able to see, for example, where we're located. It shows on the map. So if you click this on Google, it takes you straight into the map and it gives you a direction how to get the business. Right now, we're currently closed. So that was deliberate so that people do not think that the office is open on a Saturday, right? It opens 9 a.m. Between the hours of, opens 9 a.m. every day from Monday to Friday, Saturdays, Sundays, public holidays. This has already been set to show that we're not going to be open. The address is there, a phone number is there. The website has already been linked as well. So if you click this, it takes you straight to the website. You should also be able to see reviews. You should also be able to share this, and that's one of the more interesting things about Google My Business is that you can actually share your profile with other people. What Google My Business does is that it helps improve local SEO, and local SEO makes your business easy for customers to find. Like I was saying earlier, one key behavior with users is that we like to Google things that we want to do. If you're going to the mall and you've probably never been there, one of the first things you do is to Google it. Or ICM opening hours, or you can just search ICM. That way, it's easy for you to find how to get there, where it is, when they are going to be open. I think some businesses even go as far as putting their offerings and services. I know that some restaurants, for example, will put their menu on this, so that way you can make a quick decision. You can decide that, yeah, this place is a bit too expensive and I probably do not want to go there. And so on and so forth, right? It has key features like business listings. A business listing is basically you listing where your business is. Customer reviews. One of the most important things about Google My Business is how people are able to leave comments. Some businesses, for example, would have 2 stars, and that's because a lot of the feedback that they're getting is negative. They're not doing enough to actually respond and also have good service. One of the things that I mentioned last week was how you can go from owned media to paid media to earned media. Earned media is the form of media that you earn. It's when your business is good, when your services are living up to expectation, and you've invested in owned media, you have your own websites, you have your blog, you have your Instagram page. You've also put a little bit of money behind that and you've promoted, and that has given you more awareness to a larger audience. When your business is good and you are living your promise. So if you're saying that you deliver in 30 minutes, and that is exactly what people get when they patronize your business, then what that leads to is earned media. Earned media is translated into things like reviews, customer recommendations, positive comments on your Google My Business, on your Instagram page, positive comments in your WhatsApp. All of that is earned media, right? And that's one of the key things about Google My Business. It allows you display earned media. It allows you show strength and show your potential customers that you are not just a business owner, you're a business owner that actually does great business. And it gives people the confidence to want to patronize you and work with you. Another thing, another key feature of Google My Business is direct messaging. When you have your phone number imputed into Google My Business, people can actually call you, they can send you messages, they can connect with you directly. You can actually put your WhatsApp line here. You can put your phone number here. It's actually preferable if you put a phone number that people can call and you have like a dedicated person to answer phone calls. So if you are a business that sells clothes and your number is here, the next thing I'm doing, instead of going to your Instagram page to send a message that might probably not be responded to immediately, the next thing I'm doing is to place a phone call. Now, the disadvantage of this is that people, in my experience, Nigerians are funny. Nigerians usually don't respect personal boundaries and time. So you put your number here and they're calling you by 12 midnight. I personally, I mean, you can always draw those boundaries. And there are some businesses that will probably respond to you by that time. And there are some businesses that switch off their calling lines once it's past a certain period because they don't want to be called at late hours. I've gotten phone calls for Nigeria, for example, at odd hours of the night, people calling on Instagram around 12 midnight, expecting the handler to pick and respond. So that's one disadvantage of putting your phone number out there. So it's pretty much advisable for you to have a phone number that you can unplug. So it should not be a personal line. It shouldn't be a line that gives people direct access to you in your downtime. It should be a line that can always be controlled. I'm not going to be available between this time and you can always update it here. Not being available at this time and this time. And that number is then switched off. And then when it comes on, they can send a message, they can call. I think it's very, very, very important that these fine lines are understood so that you don't think that this is just something that everybody does. And it means that you are available 100%. I don't think that any business needs to be that available. You should always have periods where you can take a rest. Even God rested on the seventh day. So even businesses should rest and take time off. So Google My Business enhances visibility, engagement, and it's an essential tool for local marketing. So key features, business profile with your contact info, address, operating hours, customer ratings, reviews, Google posts for updates, promotions, events. You can also get insights on search visibility, customer interactions. This is actually my favorite feature from Google My Business because it tells me the percentage of people interacting with my business. It tells me when there's a drop in interaction. It tells me that, oh, this comment hasn't been responded to. So I can get little data that allows me to optimize my profile better and also allows me to connect with my customers better. Then also messaging and appointment booking options. So for businesses that would require people to take appointments, you can actually put it there that this is your business hour. This is the time when you can actually book an appointment and come in, have a conversation with us and etc. So This is going to be our first discussion. So this is what we're going to do. If you want to answer, please just put an emoji in the comment section, and we'll call you. I think, Mr. Godwin, if you can just give them access to speak, and then we'll just pick, I think, 3 people, and then we'll move on from this. So put it in the comment section if you want to respond to this. And again, you have a chance to win airtime. So the question is, what do you think is wrong with this image? From everything you are seeing, can you point out what is wrong in this image? Does anyone want to take a spin at it? Okay. So I see someone has their hands raised. NK.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So NK, what do you think is wrong with the image?
Hello.
Hello, hi, good
Hello.
afternoon.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
For me, I think the image is not, the profile of the business is not clear, is haphazard. I can't
What do
really
you
see
mean?
what is going on.
Okay. Okay, so just to clarify, right, this is something that you would see on Google My Business. This is a snapshot of Google My Business. Everything here, so if you click on this, this is the view I would get as the manager of the business. So I can edit the profile, read reviews, and all of that. It's not, this particular page isn't supposed to carry all the information. It's the previous page that'll carry the information. This is your dashboard, so to speak, right? But there is something wrong with this dashboard. Do you want to take a second swing at it?
They haven't completed their info.
Okay, thank you very much. That is actually the correct answer. Yeah, the profile strength is incomplete. So thank you very much, NK. Please, if you could just send your details to Mr. Godwin, that would be great. And that's actually the major answer. For context, this is the dashboard for NigerPay. And the reason why the profile strength is not complete is because we did not add images. One of the things that you would need to do in trying to complete your Google My Business profile is that you need to add images relevant to your business. It was difficult for us at that time because the business exists in a building that doesn't belong to us. So in trying to complete the profile strength, we have to add like pictures, but we didn't want to add pictures that Google will reject, so we didn't actually complete it. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is that Google My Business is structured in a way that you can actually leave out some details. If you don't have everything, it's fine. You can actually leave out any of the details. You would still be able to manage your business effectively as long as your business is verified. So if tomorrow we add businesses or images that tells people about our business as a financial service, then this profile will then be at 100% completion. I think it's at 90% completion. That's the only thing that is missing there. So NK, thank you very much for your for being the first person to want to that chose to interact with this discussion. So now we're going into some of the more technical elements of Google My Business. So summarily, right, this is in a few steps how you can set up your Google My Business profile. The most important thing for setting up a Google My Business profile is having a Google account. For businesses, what I would recommend is for you to have a Google account that is dedicated strictly to your business. So if you don't have one, you would need to create one. So if you don't have one, that means that your first step will not be to sign in, will be to create. So you first need to create a Google account that is relevant to your business. That shouldn't take you any time. If your business primarily uses an email address that doesn't end with gmail.com, you won't be able to do this on Google My Business. It has to be at gmail.com. The next step is to then sign into your Google account. Then you go to Google My Business or business.google or google.com/business, and then it takes you to a dashboard, right? Once you see that dashboard, you sign in, then it'll ask you a couple of questions. So you have to enter your business details. So the first detail you would need to enter is your name, your business name. Then the next detail would be category. So category then refers to the space that you're playing in. So if you are a business that sells clothes, your category will probably be something around fashion. The third thing would then be your location, which is one of the most important things, because if your location is not there, local SEO becomes extremely difficult. So you need to put in the location of your business, not your actual living address. So if your business is somewhere in Bariga, for example, and your own house is in Bagada, the location you are putting is the location that your business exists in. For businesses that do not necessarily have a physical location, you can opt to put a phone number or a website, right? But you would need to have, again, your business details would need to have a name, a category, a location if that is relevant, a phone number, a website if you have that. Basically, the details should carry things that your customers can use to locate you, which is the whole point of Google My Business. The third, and I think this is the most important part of Google My Business, is to verify your business. Now, like I said, Google is a very, very simple platform to use. It's open to everyone. It allows anybody to, claim a business, say your business is here. However, your business is not going to be visible to your customers unless you verify your business. Verification is only done, well, Google has 3 different ways. They will send you a postcard. So if you've put your location at, let's say, somewhere in Yaba, they'll send you an actual postcard with a code. That code, you would then impute it in your Google My Business profile, and then it will verify your business. The second is they will send you a code via email or they will call you. Now, the third, and I think, and I'm emphasizing this one more specifically because Google has actually stopped postcard and phone verification for people in this part of the world. At least the last time I checked, the last time I did this. For this part of the world, you need to do what is called video verification. And it might seem a bit daunting, but it's not really difficult. Video verification requires you to take a non-stop video of where you are located. So your video verification will require you to show things like a landmark. For example, if you're located at, let's say, number 57 Herbert Macaulay Way, you need to show, you need to first go to the front of your building, take a non-stop video that shows that that place that you are saying is your business, you have access to it. So if there's something written there, 57, they do like this numberings on streets. If your building is numbered 57 Herbert Macaulay Way, it should be written there. Google will require you to take a video showing that that's where you are. You can also take, if the video can also contain relevant landmarks. Like, let's say there's a restaurant beside 57 Herbert Macaulay Way. You would include that restaurant as part of the video. Again, like I said, it's a non-stop video, so you're not sending Google multiple videos. It's going to be one stretch. Don't pause, don't stop. I mean, you can pause, but it should be a seamless video because they're actually going to watch the video and then verify it. So you need to then show location postmarks. Then you should also show, as part of the video verification, you need to be able to show that you work there or you own the business. So things like opening the shop, for example, or walking into the business, or having a signage that carries your business on the building. That is a way for Google to say that, yeah, this is fine. You've said that you are 57 Herbert Macaulay Way. This is 57 Macaulay Way, and it carries your business, so the business belongs to you. The reason why this is done, and the reason why this can be a bit daunting, is because it's, like I said, Google My Business is available to everybody and anybody, right? I can decide that tomorrow I'll claim someone's building as my location. If there is no way to verify that I actually work in that building, then anybody can claim any location, and that makes it very hard for other people, like the actual owners of that business, of that building rather, to claim location of that place. So I can see that there's some questions in the comments. What if your business is in your residence? Yes, you can actually use your residence. I was very specific on using different locations because I realized that some people would have a shop somewhere else and would prefer to use their location, their actual living address. So the point is, if your living address is 57 Harvard Macaulay Way and that's where your business is, whatever address you are using, you need to just show that, you need to show a physical proof, which is the video, that the business exists there. Yes, Clement, I would actually do a demonstration of this after this, to show you how to actually set it up. We'll do a demo after this. Also, if your business doesn't have a physical location, how do you go about the verification? So the challenge with Google My Business in Nigeria is that it kind of requires you to have a physical location, right? In other countries, a phone number is actually effective because if you put your phone number there, you're not putting an address. So what is important is for you not to put an address in the first place. And then you'd be able to verify it using an actual phone number. However, the last I checked, Google has actually stopped verification using postcards and phones and phone calls. What the phone thing does is that they will actually send you a code to that number that you have put. So if you don't have a physical location and it's an online business, you have a phone number that people can call you, which is the most important thing about Google My Business, that you are trying to be available to people on the internet. So if you don't have a location, you need to have a phone number. The phone number is the step they would use in verifying you, basically. Then after you have verified your business, you would then get like this. Let me go back to previous couple of slides. Once you verified your business, this image here is going to be visible to everybody. If you haven't verified your business, all you will see is this. And you would see that it will tell you that your profile is not complete. It will tell you that your profile hasn't been verified. You would not get this tick here. So the important thing for Google My Business, the most important step is verifying your business. It will usually take them a couple of days to actually verify your business. But again, it will be done eventually, and then you'll have full access to managing it. Once you have full access, you'll be able to respond to customer interactions. People will actually be able to leave reviews. So it's actually pretty important that this is done so that visibility is easy. Again, this is one element of driving visibility on Google that I think is easy to do and it will not cost you anything, right? After you verified your business, and while you're actually waiting for Google to verify your business, you can optimize your listing by adding high quality images, providing accurate business hours, enabling customer messaging and appointment booking, post updates. All of this is things you can do afterwards. So the result of all of this is that your business appears in Google search and maps when customers search for related services. So if your business is focused on making hair, for example, and people are searching hairdressers around me, because you are already, and that's why the location thing is very important, because you are within the vicinity that they are searching. If their location is on, it would actually bring you up as a possible business because you are close to them. That's why the location thing is very, very, very key. So for businesses that do not have like physical locations, this might not be your best route in trying to be visible to your customers, because your customers can't really Google you or Google for your services around you and find you because there's no address for them to actually go to. So then you now have to then do a little bit of augmentation by doing more ads and setting up more digital campaigns overall. So I don't know if we have questions so far, because I actually want to go into a quick demo on setting up Google My Business. Do we have any questions so far outside of the questions that have already been asked? Okay, I will take that as a no. So let me quickly go straight into a quick demo. I don't know, please, Mr. Godwin, can anyone just confirm if they can actually see my screen? You should be able to see a google.com/business right now.
Yes,
Okay, perfect. So like I said, the important thing for Google My Business is for you to have a Google account. The first thing you do is to sign in. I'm already signed in. So what I'll just do is manage now. I'll just click on manage now. Once you click on sign in, this is the next thing you'd see, right? So the first thing you do is your business name. So let's use Moshi's Digital School as the business name. You create this business name, you click on continue, then you would choose your business type. So you would select everything that applies. Is it an online retail store? Do you have a local store? Do you have is it a service business? So this is the next thing. After you've selected your business name, let me just go back. The first thing you would see is put in your business name. So whatever business name you have, that's what should come in here. This is a demo. This does not exist. I'm just using this as an example. So that's the first thing you'd see. You click on continue and you select the type of business that you would need, basically, or the type of business that suits your business. So I would make this a local store. I would also select maybe not online retail, also select service business. So your business makes visits to customers. This would be more relevant to phone numbers. If you don't have a local store, you don't have to select local store. So it gives you 3 options basically, and you can decide that you want to just stick to having a service business, and all the relevant thing for you would be phone numbers and time. The next thing is then, like I said, your business category. So again, just type out this should be so I can say education. So so education center. Yeah. If this was a fashion store, for example, I would be selecting fashion designer, fashion design school. So what you would have to first type out the category of your business. If you are a shoe seller, you sell shoes. You can maybe say fashion accessory store, or your category could be let's say shoe store. Yeah, shoe store, shoe factory. If what you do is that you repair shoes, you can either pick a shoe factory or a shoe repair shop. So anything that you do has already been categorized on Google as a business category. What you have to do is just type out a keyword that is relevant to your business. If you sell clothes, see, you just type out clothes and you see clothes market or clothing store, clothing supplier. It should be very specific to what you are offering. So for this, because it's a digital school, let's call it no, let's say yeah. So we'll just say school center or learning center. Maybe a learning center would be better, yes. So it's a digital school and the category is learning center. What category would someone making baby diapers belong to? That's a very interesting question. I would say, so the first thing you should type out is baby, like so the key thing about finding your category is typing out the keyword that is most relevant to your business. So if it's baby diapers, baby, just type out baby. So you can then pick from any of these, right? So I guess maybe not baby store, so maybe a baby store. I'm guessing that you would probably not just be selling diapers, right? So perhaps a baby store or children's. Yeah, I would just say perhaps just go with baby. Can you type diaper? Yeah, diaper service. That could also be a thing. So really, it really depends on what works the most for your business. I don't know the scope of this baby diaper making service, right? However, a diaper service is a diaper service. So yeah, this is for Moshe's Business School is a school center. Yeah, so a baby store works for that, for a baby diaper maker. But for this example, we are going with school center. Next is your business address. So it will ask you location, street address, local government area, be as detailed as possible. So let's say, let me pick a random, maybe my former address. Streets. You can also add a different address line, but I don't think that's very relevant to what we're trying to do right now. Yeah, so you can decide that you have multiple locations and then add them, just keep adding them, right? Or you can decide that, okay, the street has, so it's a street that's inside an estate. You might decide that you want to add this as, let's say, a Awolowo estate or something like that. But again, the secondary, that's not very relevant. You can just keep this as this. So Ariago Streets, local government area, Shomolu, and city, Yaba. For some people, they choose to select Lagos as their city. So here you just put 7 Ariago Street, Yaba, local government area, Shomolu. Postal code for, I think for Nigeria is 10001, I think. Yeah. Oh, that's for Lagos actually. And you select your states, Lagos, and then next. So the next thing, so what Google also does is that it can ask you to save this as an address so that you don't necessarily have to use that over and over again or type it out over and over again. The next is your phone number. Again, if you don't have a website, you can just not put a website. And if you don't want to put a phone number, that's absolutely fine. This is something that can be skipped. You can just decide that you want to skip this. So let's go ahead and skip that. But if you have a phone number, the next thing you should be adding is your phone number. Yeah. So this is where, this is now the next step where you need to put your business on the map. So when you click on continue, it should take you to second. Right. So it would ask you to verify your phone number. Your phone number won't be visible. So let me put my phone number, 650. Yep. So like I was saying earlier, the thing about Google is this thing is so easy to set up because it's like just follow the step-by-step process. If you don't want to verify your phone number now, right, you can decide you want to verify it later, which is probably what I'll do. But again, put your phone number, click next. Let's actually click next. It would, yeah, then it would now select a way to get verified. Like I said, this is for Nigeria, and it's just an unfortunate thing that happens. In other countries, it will give you the option to verify. It will give you the option to verify using your phone number or your or a postcard. But Google doesn't do this anymore. I think a lot of people took advantage of the phone number thing and they were using it to claim businesses that were not theirs. So this is for Google My Business, unfortunately, for now. This is the key thing that you would need to do to verify your business. You need to be able to make a video. So unfortunately, this is the part that I know I cannot do right now because I don't have a video of, this is a sample. I would give you an example of what I did when I was trying to set this up for the business that I work for. So when I resumed at NigerPay, this was one of the first things that I did. What I did was I went to the gate of the building because we already put in the business address. It's 270 Murtala Mohammed Way, Alagomeji. That's what I put there. And on the building, it's written there, 270, right? So what I did was I took that and then I made sure I did like a pan. So I took my video like this and then I showed the building beside us, and then I showed the building, like the building beside us from left and right perspective. And then from there, I now walked into the building. We're on the third floor, so I had to climb up the stairs. I didn't stop recording the video. I climbed to the third floor. At that point, we had like a piece of branding that was outside of the door. So that piece of branding showed that that is where NigerPay's business operates from. So it was clear that we don't own the building, but we are inside the building. And when you go to the third floor, you get to NigerPay. Once after I did that, the next thing I did was to walk into the office. So we have like a key card punching. So I just walked in, punched, like put in my code and walked into the building, and I walked straight to my table that had a notepad that had NigerPay written on it. That was it, right? So one thing you need to know, right, is in doing this video, you don't need to have everything. What is important is that you have some of these things. So key things that you can have is your business location, right? If you don't have a physical location, what you can do is that if you are servicing the areas of, let's say, Yaba, you just make it clear that this is the area. So your video you are taking is for the area and like the area around where your service would be required. So you're a home service cleaner, for example, and your core function is to work around, let's say, Yaba. Yaba is like the area that you can easily make business transactions and people call you for. You take a video of that vicinity, right? And then show Google just needs to see that you are a physical person that exists in a physical location. So do not be put off by the number of things you need to show. Not everything needs to be present in what you're trying to do. What is important is that there's a physical location that can be found if you're being looked for, or if people are looking for you. Also, another thing that is clear that needs to also be done is just showing that you have like a service area that you operate out of, right? Once that video is there, like I said, it's a continuous video. So you can also show like equipment. So like this says, record video of your business, show your location, equipment, proof of management, anything that basically shows that you are a business and you're a legitimate business is what they want to see. So let's say you don't have a physical location, but you have a branded t-shirt and you have a branded truck for deliveries. Fine, show that. Show a video that says, this is my business. We operate out of this vicinity. This is a branded t-shirt. This is a roll-up banner. This is a poster that shows that we actually are in business. You take that video, you upload it. What you do is you click next. I don't have a video to upload, so I'm just going to click on verify later. However, this is the most important part. Once you upload this, Google will get back to you and tell you that your video is under verification. A few days, maximum a week or two, you will get feedback from Google and you would get your address on Google. That's essentially what you would need to do. If you don't have a video when you are doing your setup, that's fine. All you do is skip. Again, the beauty about this is that you can actually do the verification at a later date. So like I was saying, you can complete other elements of Google My Business, but the verify part can also be completed at a different time. The next thing you would then see is adding your business hours. So let's say we're open Monday. So opens at so you just select the time that you open. So if your business opens at 9 a.m., select 9 a.m., closes at 5:30. And then you just do that for the rest. Sorry, I'm pretty much running out of time, so let me just skip all of that. And then one of the last things you do is to add a description of your business. What I did when I was setting this up for NigerPay was a simple description: financial service in Nigeria. Sometimes it doesn't need to be that detailed, just a simple short description. You just have 750 characters, right? So it cannot be more than 750 characters. It can be very short. It can also be very long, but it cannot be more than 750 characters. Let's say digital school. Click next. and it'll ask you to add images. Like I said, this is one thing that we did not do. So if you have products that you're selling, this is where restaurants would add their menu. So when you now go to Google and you search, it will show you whatever image that you've added. It could be an image of where you are located. It could be an image of the front of your building. It could be an image of your product. It could be an image of the inside of your building. It just gives people an idea that this is what this location looks like, and this is what we should look out for. Yeah. That's essentially is it. Then, like I said, everything that I have done right now will be visible to the customers once you get verified. So that is the most important part. So don't get bogged down by how detailed the video needs to be. As long as you have some of the key details that they're looking for, you'll be verified. It's not really going to be a back and forth with Google. I can guarantee that. Yes. So Clement, your question is, when you said the business must have a Google account, yes, you must create a Gmail account. Yes, it has to be a Gmail account. Sorry, please. I just need confirmation. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Cool. All right. Mr. Godwin, please, how many minutes do I have left?
Okay, you have up to 20 minutes.
Hello?
I just responded. Can you hear me? I said you have up to
I
20 minutes.
Oh, 20 minutes. Okay, good. All right. So that is essentially how you set up a Google My Business profile. The purpose of doing this demo is to show how easy it is to do. It's not really not difficult at all. It's straight to the point. Google has done it in such a way that you just follow the steps. The only thing you need to do that might be a bit daunting is taking the video, and I've done that. It's not, yes, and it's not difficult at all. Is it possible to attempt verification more than once? Yes, it's very possible. If they don't accept your video, you can take the video again. The first time I did it, I think I made a mistake. I think I paused the video and they rejected it. And the next day, I did it again. And they also rejected it because I didn't have enough materials to show that NigerPay existed in that location. So the next day I did it, there was like we had this mock-up design thing in the office that showed that this is NigerPay. It was something we used for an activation. So it could be a roll-up banner, it could be a poster. It just needs to be very clear that that's where that business exists. So if you try it the first time it doesn't work, you can try it again. What if your place of business doesn't have a defined address? You should have a defined address or a place of working. If you don't have a defined address, then people can't find you online. That's the purpose of Google My Business. It's that when they Google you, they're able to find that, oh, I can go to this place, I can connect with this person here. In a different clime, your phone number your phone number should be sufficient, because what would then be the contact point is your phone number. But to ensure that you do local SEO correctly and ensure that you actually pop up on maps, which is one of the reasons why you do Google My Business, you should have a location. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a business location. You can use your house address. Do you get? If it's an online business, your place of working is your house, right? And that is where you should possibly use. As long as there's a place that people can actually Google, it also gives you an advantage. If you are located in Yaba and you live in Yaba, but you are offering an online business, it makes more sense that you are putting an address that is within that vicinity, preferably your address, so that you can easily verify that. I think if there are no other questions, I'll then go into the next part of our presentation. So this is the second discussion point. Like we did the last time, if you want to speak, just raise your hand. Mr. Godwin will be kind enough to give you access to speak. So the question is, considering that nearly every local business now has a Google My Business profile, how can a company truly differentiate itself using Google My Business? Again, there is no correct answer. I just want to be sure that we are following. So in terms of how to differentiate everything that I've said in the previous slides, but just to see if we're still following. So if you want to answer and you want to try winning airtime, please raise your hand. And then Mr. Gordon will give you the chance to speak. Okay. So Mr. Godwin, I think you can just pick one person.
Okay, I'm on it.
Okay. Before the person comes on, there's a question from Uche Nwosu. No, you don't have to talk during the video. No, I didn't say anything when I was making that video. So, all right. Damilola, hi. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Hello, hi. Good evening.
Yeah. So, the question, I think, it starts with the quality of photos that you have on your business profile.
Okay.
Then, the contact info. The contact information has to be up to date, and you have to have reasonable open hours compared as you consider the kind of business that you're in. So, because some businesses, I understand that you said that every business needs their resting time, but there are some businesses that people tend to patronize more during public holidays or weekends. So I think that's going to also add to.
I think we lost her.
Yes, yes, yes. However, I really, really like that. So I know I said that the location times, having downtime, but the truth is, do what works for your business. So if you are going to be available during public holidays, you would need to update your Google My Business to show that you are available during public holidays, so that people do not try to Google you and then they find out that you're not available. So that's one way you can actually differentiate yourself. Yes, having good pictures is all well and good, but at the end of the day, right, your business hours, I think, and your location and having a contact address and having a contact, like having contact details, those are like key things that you really need to get right. So if your business is going to be available during a public holiday, for example, during Easter, it needs to be very clear that you are available on that Easter Sunday, so that anyone can actually reach out to you, come to your business, send you a message, call your number. All those things need to be updated. So it's Google My Business. I don't want us to look at Google My Business as something that we are just going to do once and forget about it. You can actually use these minor edits to differentiate yourself, because if you've already set it up to show that you're not available on public holidays and you forget to change it, you might actually lose out. I think that's a very, very great comment. Thank you so much, Daniela. Like I'm happy that we're getting great comments. All right. So Mr. Godwin, please, the second poll. Okay. It says, what's the biggest challenge you think small businesses will face with Google Ads? So for context, the second part of our class and what we're going to be discussing to the end of this class is for Google Ads, just a quick introduction into Google Ads. So again, I just want to gauge what we think and where our mind is at when it comes to Google Ads. So, yeah. Okay. Wow, almost half of the respondents said that understanding how it works. Yes, yes, I totally agree. Again, no wrong answers. However, to use a platform effectively, understanding how it works is key. Setting the right budget also, because one thing about Google Ads is that it can be cost intensive, right? I know that we've said repeatedly that the focus of this course is to explore digital skills that might not cost you a lot. Google Ads is very effective. I've used them. I've used Google Ads, extremely effective. However, it can be cost intensive. Setting the right budget to see the right results is also a key challenge. Then also creating ads that convert. One of the biggest challenges that businesses have is not just running ads, but ads that lead to something, right? Nobody wants to spend money and the money doesn't translate into anything. Like it's a big challenge with almost every digital marketer, right? And I'm glad that at least where we can, even without going into what Google Ads is, we have an understanding of what the challenges could be with small businesses. All right. Thank you so much for participating in that poll. So going on Google, intro into Google Ads. Again, this is me giving a quick overview of Google Ads, what it does for your business, what it is essentially. So what are Google Ads? Simply put, Google Ads is an online advertising platform that enables businesses to reach potential customers through search, display, video, shopping ads. I mean, there are more Google ad formats, but these are like the key ones. Google Ads works in a way that it's called pay-per-click, meaning that most times with Google Ads, if your customers don't engage, if they don't click, you will not be charged. And that's one of the reasons why I say it's very, very effective, because compared to other payment models, you will probably be charged because your ad gets exposure. But with most Google ads, you would need to ensure that people click on it. If they don't click on it, if they're not sending you a message to WhatsApp, if they're not clicking to find out more, Google is not going to charge you, right? So advertisers only pay when they click on the ads, when your customers click on the ads, ensuring that marketing budgets are efficiently spent and results are measurable. Please, like I said, Google Ads can be cost intensive, but also it can be very, very effective and efficient. Because again, if you're running the search ad, for example, if nobody clicks on it, you're not going to be charged. Your money will just be there. Then you can decide that you want to stop the ad because you're not actually seeing results. Okay. So just to summarize all of this, it's an online advertising platform. Think how you run ads on social media, but on Google platforms. So what Google Ad does is that it takes your ads and serves it to either a Google search engine, our Google affiliated website. So a Google affiliated websites are websites and blogs that have optimized themselves to have ads placed from Google. An affiliated platform of Google is YouTube, for example. So a video ad for a video Google ad or a Google ad for video is going to be served mostly to YouTube. That's where you would see it. Google also has like shopping platforms that allows you to connect your website, display your products, and also get people to click on your products simply by, when you serve an ad. So if you're searching cheapest diapers in Lagos and you already have a Google shop set up, when you run a Google shopping ad, it will just display that on the search engine. Instead of having to go to a website, they can see your full display of products, click on it, make the transaction, and then you know that your ad was effective. Okay, so what Google Ads can do for your business? It can help you drive the following objectives. Number one is sales. It will boost direct sales and revenue. That's one of like the example I gave earlier. Second is leads. Now, leads essentially means a potential customer, anybody that's interested in your business. That's one other thing that Google Ads can do for you. It might not necessarily give you transacting customers, but it gives you people that can be followed up on, people that have showed interest, but they're not interested in taking action now, but you can follow up with them later. Another thing it does for you is that it gives you more visitors to your website. So you have a website, you're selling something, or it's a service website, for example. What if you're running an ad on Google, right? It allows people to not just see your ad, but also leads them back into the website. I'll give an example. So when in the past, when I was running ads for Artex, when just trying to get people to register, one of the objective we did with Google Ads was to run website traffic. So to get people to the website and then to click on, so it's from the website you basically buy your tickets. So that's one of the things we measured was the number of people that actually went to the website. Another thing Google Ads would do for you is to drive brand awareness and reach, increases your visibility, gets people to view and know you more. Another thing you would get from Google or from Google Ads is app promotion. You can promote your app if your business requires people to download apps. So it'll drive downloads and engagements for your apps, and then store visits, encourage more foot traffic to your physical stores. This is very, very key, especially when you set up your Google My Business profile. So now going straight into types of Google Ads. So if you look at the image on your right, this thing you're seeing here sponsored is a search ad. Search ads are ads that are text-led. That's what it means. And it appears when the user types in a relevant query in like a search engine. So if you're looking for hotels, for example, this image says hotels in Hawaii, because they've already set up a Google search ad to trigger results when, so the keywords will probably be hotels, Hawaii, hotels in Hawaii, hotels around me, because they are searching for something relevant to your keyword. And that's how Google search ads work. You would set it up and it would require you to put in specific keywords. Once you highlight the keywords, once this pops up and this is your keyword, it will trigger this and your ad will come up. So this is an ad for Balmison Hotel in Hawaii. That's basically what the search ad is. They help businesses reach customers actively searching for their product or service. So if your search is best or cheapest diapers in Lagos, for example, then you've already set your search ad to be triggered when, so your keywords will probably be diapers, Lagos, babies, mothers, motherhood, things related to that. Do you understand? So when it triggers that and your bid is high enough, it will bring this out. It will bring out your search ad. Once they click on this, it takes them straight into your website. If you notice, there are no images on this. That's why it's a search ad. It's only text. It only leads results using text ads. And there are two ways to buy search ads. One is manual CPC. So you set a maximum amount you're willing to pay for each click. And that's how Google Ads usually work, is that you would bid against other people. So let's say we have 5 diaper businesses in Lagos. All of you are trying to get customers. All of you are trying to run Google Ads. If your own business sets your bid to 1,000 Naira, and another business sets their bid to 20 Naira, it would prioritize your 1,000 Naira bid. What that bid means is I'm willing to spend more money to get immediate results. So when people are searching for best diaper brands in Nigeria, for example, it would serve your ads more compared to the other person because you are bidding higher. So you can think of it like a bazaar where they're saying going once, going twice, this is the amount. That's how Google Ads work. You put a bid, your bid would then determine whether your ad will be served above your competition. So it's not that straight to the point, but I mean, that's how it works. The second is automated bidding. So and for people who are running Google Ads for the first time, I would say that try automated bidding. What Google does is that they adjust your bid automatically to get the results based on your campaign goal. So Google would bid for you automatically. The manual version of this is when you are very, very certain, and when you are very certain that you want to pay more and you are actually trying to outbid every other person. So you're not trying to leverage Google. You simply just want to gain more. All right. So the next is a display ad. Again, look at this image on the side. So this banner you are seeing here is a display ad. This website is an affiliated website with Google. So they've optimized their website to get ads directly from Google. So what Google does is that it will take a banner that you have created. Once you are setting it up, it will then serve that banner to relevant ads or relevant websites that are relevant to your search. That's what it is. So a display ad is, I mean, like, think about when you are scrolling through a blog or a website. Let's say you're going through Linda Ikeji's blog for that day. If Linda Ikeji has optimized for Google, your ad can actually appear on Linda Ikeji's ad. It will not, the disadvantage is that you cannot actually select the websites that you want to appear on. What the algorithm just serves it based on relevancy and your bid. So if, for example, this is the most popular website on Google, if you're not bidding higher than your competition, it will probably not give you, it will not serve your ad to these websites ahead of other people, but it will serve your ads to other relevant websites. So like I said, there are different buy types. So cost per click is when someone clicks. A cost per click ad is good for driving traffic. You want people to go to your website. So what that means is when they click on this banner and it takes them to their website, you'll be charged. Now for display ads, you can actually drive for brand awareness. So what's the second buy type is CPM, cost per 1,000 miles, or cost per 1,000 impressions. What they're saying basically is once this ad is viewed by 1,000 people, they will charge you. If it's not viewed by 1,000 people, you will not be charged. That's how Google display ads work. For video ads, like I said, video ads run across YouTube and Google Video partner sites. Think about how you want to tell a brand story, you want to drive awareness and drive engagement. So when you're on YouTube and you're trying to watch a video, and the first ad and then it takes you to an ad by Manu. I don't know if you guys see Manu's ads everywhere, or Jumia. Those are video ads. You can actually buy, set up your Google video ads in 3 ways. One is CPV. So you pay when someone watches 30 seconds of that video or interacts. Second is cost per 1,000 impressions, which is great for reach. You want your video to reach a large number of people. So they will charge you for every 1,000 people that sees your ad. And then target CPA is an automatic bid for conversions set at a cost. So what that means is that you are trying to convert people and then there is a target that you're trying to reach. So these are the ways that you can actually set up or buy Google video ads. The fourth is a shopping ad. Like I was trying to explain earlier, I don't know if you guys can see this image. This person has searched winter coats. This series of ads is related to a website. You don't need to click on the website. You don't need to actually go to the website. The point is you can actually see the price. You can see the product. You can see the rating. You can even see that some of them come with free shipping. All of this makes it very easy for your customer to make an easy decision. So for shopping ads, the shopping ad showcases your products with images, prices, store names, ratings. Basically, it's an ad that is ideal for e-commerce businesses that are looking to drive traffic into their websites. So if your website is heavily hinged on, or rather, if your business is hinged on having a website to sell stuff, a shopping ad is probably your best bet. And the last is an app ad, which basically is you promoting your app to get installations, etc. So if you have an app and you want people to download your app, you can run an app ad. It would basically be serving ads in Google search, Play Store, YouTube, Display Network. Basically, once you open your Play Store and you see some ads at the top, that's a Google app ad. You will be charged for an app ad when people actually install or when they optimize for in-app actions and revenue. So you can actually, what that means, let me explain that. What that means is that for some ads, you will not be charged until someone does something in your app. So you are not just serving an ad, you're serving an ad for them to make an action. So it's not for them to install the app, it's for them to actually make an action. So you're trying to sell something, you want them to buy something in your app. That's the in-app ad. I don't know if you guys have seen any Temu ad recently that requires you to complete an action in-app. That's what I'm referring to. That's an example of that. And yeah, that's everything we have. That's everything on the intro to Google Ads. So before I go into case studies and the final discussion points, I just want to check if there are other questions. So Ocean also says, how would you know how to bid so your products? So the thing about bidding is that Google would actually give you a recommended amount, right? It would tell you that if you bid too low, a prompt will come up just below that bracket that says your bid is a bit too low. It will give you a recommended amount. What I personally like to do is to go above the recommended amounts because I'm not trying I'm really not trying to underbid. I'm not trying to compete with a lot of people. I would rather bid above the recommended. So Google will actually give you a recommended amount. You can choose to bid below the recommended amount. That's your choice. I mean, it's not 100% recommended, but it could also be effective if your budget isn't a lot. So you want to run an ad for a long period of time. You're not trying to compete with anybody, but you will take the results that come. Not recommended, however, I know people who do it.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Hi, Gordon, I can hear you. I think Mushako is having network issues.
Oh, okay. So I think he has actually like pretty rounded up the class. So just before he joins, just that's if in case he doesn't join us. I hope everybody had a very insightful session. Today took a more practical approach, learning how to design a Google business platform. And also, it's a culture for those of us that don't join us for the first time. You're welcome. You're welcome. We're happy to have you here. If you are not in our community, WhatsApp community, please indicate in the chat room so that our community managers can kindly add you or send you a link to join the WhatsApp platform. Please do follow Adara Foundation on every social media platform. Um, you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Now, why do I ask people to follow us? It's not like we're trying to gain traction to get more followers. It's because we have a lot of exciting programs, for youths and women. Our CEO and founder is really passionate about solving the issue of unemployment in Nigeria. So digital skills is just one arm of the numerous programs we have, that can be very beneficial to young people. So do follow us on all our social media platforms so that you get first-hand information about these programs when they come up. Please join us next week, Saturday, for the session 3 of digital marketing. After this course, we still have another final course to actually present to you guys. I'll ask him to send the assignment in the WhatsApp platform so that all of you can participate. And during the next class, we'll definitely be announcing the next 3 winners. For winners that were actually announced today, congratulations. Please contact our community managers. We have Julius, we have Mikey on the platform, and share your bank details with them for your reward. If there's any other information, I'll put it in the WhatsApp platform. Do have a good evening. Thank you for joining us today. Good night.